great leaders, who comes to mind and why?
There's so many people, and I just usually keep everything simple. I think there's leaders in my community that I look at where people who don't have much of anything, and they are there to serve the people around them. So, I know of people who they're kind of still seen as the grandmother of the block, where they've been there.
Grandmother of the block.
The grandmother of the block.
Hold on. First of all, where are you from?
I'm from New York.
You're from New York, New York?
Yeah.
So nice name to twice.
Right, exactly.
I love it. Okay.
But there's people who that even if they don't have much, their doors are open, and they're able to share what they know. They're there to protect. They're able to direct people along the way. And when I look at the people who've influenced my life, they're not necessarily all on the news, or they're not these big figures, but it's people who said, I have something to share and something to give, and I can make someone else's life a little bit better. And that's usually from a spiritual foundation. Right? So when I really think of who I am as a person, I mean, I've worked at the White House and worked at large companies and traveled all over the world.
You can't just go back pretty quickly. Okay, I got to ask. So you said you have some background in doing this.
Have some background.
Okay, so
I've touched some money in the past.
If you can, because you're here. Is it okay for me to ask? I mean, folks watching, they're like, you know what? This is someone that sounds like she knows exactly what she's doing, unless you read this on Google somewhere, or you have to watch some YouTube.
Not
you
at
watch
all.
a YouTube video or just read a book. Tell us if you can, one, where were you trained, maybe where you went to school, if that's okay. And then I'm going to ask you a question or two, if that's okay, about maybe, not the names of where you work for, we don't want to publicize them, but a little bit about your background that qualifies you to sit over there and share such golden nuggets. So where did you go to school?
Well, I went to several places, but for undergraduate, I went to Wesleyan University in Connecticut and did economics. And then I got a master's immediately after that from University of Pennsylvania and studied demography and marketing and statistics. And I said, as opposed to being in the academy, because at the time it was a PhD program, I didn't want to spend years working on research. I wanted to actually be in business. So I went to American Express right after that. And that's, and I'll say that company because it was that foundation of consumer, just working with consumers. What do people need? How do you really formulate marketing plans and systems and project management? But after that, I went to Columbia Business School. I got my MBA from Columbia and did real estate and finance there.
So you follow this track, and this wasn't, you've been in this financial background from undergraduate all the way to where you, keep on going.
Yeah. And
so you're qualified so far. I mean, I don't know if you have any real world experience, at least you read some books,
well, I mean,
passed some tests, but we'll get to that.
The blessing is that I've had the opportunity to be a part of leadership programs, the Twigo Foundation, Prep for Prep, different organizations that give access to some of the top financial professionals, investment banking, hedge fund management, asset management, commercial lending. So along the way, while I've been in school, I've also worked and done internships at several places. So even though I might look, young in spirit.
You are. I was going to say, you must have just got out of school. What's going on?
I think for me it was like, I knew at some point I wanted to raise my own fund. I wanted to be able to have direct either lending or investment decisions. But the only way I could get to that point was to have exposure to different areas of finance. So I was credit trained. I actually went through the certification to be able to say I can be an underwriter. So I know what's happening on the loan side.
So you went through the certification to be an
underwriter? Went through the certification.
Okay,
yes,
okay. Certifications, I heard the S.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I don't have time to get on to that, but okay. So I'm
so,
following so far.
Really being able to look at a company, go through their financial statements, understand what a bank sees as a risk or as a problem, and then help get either decisions made. Should this company get money or not?
So you've seen this from the lens of the lender. Okay, keep on going.
Yeah, and the areas that I worked in initially were in community development. So community development does a lot of both real estate as well as businesses, because states and municipalities, they always want to see that when money is put to work, new jobs are created, or they're able to increase some of the disadvantaged areas, like women-owned businesses or disadvantaged businesses or veterans. So I've seen some of the toughest cases of companies or ideas that we were able to put either loans to work or equity work. And I love that because they're viable if they just had a certain extra area of finance added that most people don't even know could be possible.
Didn't even know it was possible. So, okay, so you have a few letters behind your name. I get that part. So on the finance side, that's important. You have certifications behind your name. You've also had opportunity to look at from the lender's view. Can you take a moment just for the person that's listening? There's an entrepreneur, a small business owner. They're sitting out there. If you're a small business owner, you've got to be thinking, okay, it'd be great to have some capital. Listen to you. They're saying, sounds like it. Is there any real world practical experience? Where did you get a chance to take this book knowledge, these certifications, if you would, and then go apply it in the real world?
So in New York and definitely all over the country, there are a lot of mentor protege programs, meaning companies that are smaller, small businesses, will work with a larger company to get access to either contracts or funding or just different relationships. And so as a part of those programs, they have to be trained. And so I've actually written curriculum and trained and taught companies about how to manage finance and how to get access to these special monies. So I've also consulted with companies. So I've consulted with over 200 companies and explained to them what they should do and how they should position themselves and what they should look like before they submit their information to a lender.
So you actually what they do before they get there.
Before. It's the prep work.
That's important. So
Absolutely.
So now you see from the lender's view, but you've been on the other side saying, here's what you need to do to prepare, put yourself in a position. This is really powerful. So, okay, continue on, please.
Right. And so at that point, it was really saying, all right, I've seen so many things that, you've seen a number of deals. There's deal flow all the time on the banking side. But to be practical, a lot of people who are, they're viable, they could be funded, they just don't know what to do. So I took the training and the consulting that I did because I just don't have the chance to speak to as many people one-on-one as I could on a bigger platform. So I said, now is the time for me to really take what I know and make it accessible to a wider audience. Because I think a lot of people say, well, of course I need money, but I don't know where to go.
I'm thinking, why, I'm a business owner, I need money. Why wouldn't I need money?
Yeah, they're trying to, it's just this stone wall because they don't know where to start. And so for me, going back to that, grandmother on the block inspiration.
I like the grandmother on the block.
Right.
I like that.
I know things that can really change communities, or they could change families, or they could save industries. So being able to sit on that just doesn't feel comfortable to me, right? It doesn't make sense if it takes no effort to say, oh, well, have you considered this type of credit insurance, or have you considered, going after this type of specialty lender? That's something that's completely available, but it still seems like a secret. A lot of people feel like it's hidden to them. So I just feel like when I've spoken to companies, the stress level that comes over when they think about raising capital, it's accessible. There's actually money that, well, let me take an example. There's one fund, there's one of my colleagues I used to work with, she's at a fund that they've got over $40 million that they cannot find borrowers for, and it's at 2% interest.
What? Who? What? Where?
Exactly.
That's enough. Is there anything else to say? Is there anything else to say?
Exactly. And it's mind-boggling. And I say, what do you mean you can't find the borrowers for them? I can, email my list of people and start getting applications in, today if we need to. Right?
And matter of fact, where's the computer now?
Exactly. And the reality is, a lot of lenders, they're not marketers. They're used to managing money, and they're really networkers. So they might go to a specific industry event, or they might hand out a business card, or they might go to the Chamber of Commerce. But they're not big on publicizing everything that they're doing, right? So that is one of those areas I said, well, I know plenty of good quality businesses who are, they have the potential to grow. And if there's capital that's sitting there, some of these lenders actually get penalized when they don't use the money that they have available. They actually get penalized.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. But we're getting the behind the scenes stuff today.
Exactly. It's almost like
I'm so glad I'm here.
They're getting this access to capital at special rates because they're supposed to be infusing good into these either businesses or types of industries. And because of that, if they don't prove that they are actually making this impact, it's like a grant. When someone is saying, I need specialty money because I'm doing a greater good, if that money isn't used for that, they may not get approved for a grant again. Right? So the same thing happens with these specialty funds in the lending area. They may not get access to that again because they didn't put it to work. So I said, of course, I know where we are on both sides. There's a funding gap for the businesses, and the lenders need to put that money out the door.
So you're the bridge that brings the two together.
Exactly.
And what is the joy of seeing that happen?
Well, there's, it's a win-win for everyone, right?
Okay, so it's a win-win for the
lender and the business.
Okay. For the lender, why is it a win-win?
that they're in the business of turning money over,
Gotcha.
right? They're not there to sit on it, even though people think, oh, lenders don't want to send money out the door, they're not making loans. That's very untrue, especially now post-recession. You know, the average loan before the recession was about $100,000 for some of these specialty funds I was saying. Post-recession, it's about $400,000. So you're seeing that more money is being put to work, more money is being flushed into the system for lending. And the perception on the borrower side, businesses still feel like they don't have access. There's still some gap, there's still some blockage. I was looking at a conference recently, one of the presentations where the entire topic for one session was, how are you marketing? And they did a survey. One of the biggest complaints was that businesses don't know we're here. So imagine.
You're like, hello.
Right,
Hello.
exactly. So to know that there are hundreds of lenders and institutions that they struggle to find borrowers. That was one of the things when I was on the banking side that we would always say, you know, the job of a loan officer or that relationship manager that's supposed to be out there making contact with businesses, they should only do that. They shouldn't be back in the office, you know, going through deals and the paperwork, because they get bogged down with the paperwork side. They never get to communicate with the public, right? They never get to do that marketing and that outreach. So a lot of banks are starting to change how they're even set up, where loan officers are doing things in the market and in the community, and then they pass the information to underwriters, right? Everyone who's in the bank behind the scenes. So they still communicate, and that's always a, you know, a song and a dance. They have to communicate what's happening, but there are not enough foot soldiers on the ground actually telling borrowers the types of programs that are out there, the types of money they could get access to quickly, or what they even need to do to get ready to get that money made available to them.
Wow, so what is the first step then to raising capital?
I think the first step is being very honest about where you are right now. What do you really, truly need in your business, right? So the number should not be $1 million just right off the bat.
So it's not any and everything? I mean, any and everything. I mean, he's
not
like,
any and
what
everything.
do you need? Why don't we start?
Exactly.
What part of the list do you want?
Right. So when I get the clients that I've worked with to be able to say specifically, I need $50,000 to buy a new printing press for our office because we're going into production for this client contract. That's very clear and specific. I can now say, all right, well, they either need, let's look at equipment financing for them, or let's look at a working line of capital, or maybe we're going to do a receivables factoring product. And people say, well, what is that? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, receivables factoring,
right.
Receivables factoring, that's a whole lot of syllables.
Exactly. They are not even clear of what their need is at times, to be specific, and then who to find that money from, where they go to get the money. So that's where we step in. We start to speak to people and say, first be clear what you need. Funded First helps you figure out where to get it.
Who?
Funded First.
Funded First. Okay, I want to make sure I got the name.
Yes.
So, figure out what you need, and then come. But then you have to contact Funded First.
Yes.
Right. So they have to contact you, and then they got to have a meeting or a chat with someone to take that next step. Okay, so that's the first step to getting capital.
Right.
What is the barrier that holds most folks back, or most entrepreneurs, would you say, from even taking that first step? Is it fear?
Yeah.
Is it, I mean, what is it?
I think people feel like they're not ready. And it's just so much of a stressful process. They think about, well, I don't have collateral, or my credit may not be where it needs to be, or they're never going to get it. I mean, they have this defeatist attitude of it's just an overwhelming thing, and it's, you know, a lot of no's before they'll ever see a yes. And being able to at least get them to the point and say, you're organized, you're clear that your business is ready for funding, and that you have the relationships that you can go and get a...
That sounds very personal. I mean, if Funded First, is the information kept confidential? I mean,
oh, of course,
how do
everything
people
is.
feel, I mean, these interactions, because it can be scary. Someone saying,
right.
Here's how vulnerable I am.
Right.
What are the feelings in those conversations?
Right.
Are they confidential?
Yeah, everything is confidential. I mean, you almost have to think of it like a doctor's appointment. So, you know, you're not going to walk around the street naked, but you will do that when you go into the doctor's office. You have to disrobe. You have to be open to and be clear of, this is my pain point. I need you to fix my heart.
Hey, I like that.
Right.
Gotta fix the heart.
You cannot stay at the doctor's office with your, you know, your winter coat on if you are, you know, you need them to look at your heart. But if you need heart surgery, you're going to have appointments. They're going to have to check you out, have a checkup.
Sure.
They're going to have to evaluate what's going on with you.
So you mentioned different types of money, so thanks a lot. And now you're talking about these different industries. Are there different types of loans for business owners? based on the industry, I mean, I know you don't have any notes here. Can I put you on the spot? I mean,
Sure.
Can you share maybe 2 or 3 different types of loans that might be available? And I understand that what's the name of your organization again?
Funded First.
Okay, she loves saying that. Fuck, I'll try to get this right. What is it again?
Funded First.
Funded First.
Yes.
Your team helps them with these maybe 2 or 3 type of loans, and they could start the conversation.
Right.
Can you talk about the 3 type of business
I think
loans?
the primary 3 that we see the most in terms of need and availability are working capital loans. So
which
just
means
to run your everyday business, just the
general.
That's a good one.
Hey, business owners, let's all call right now, just to run the business.
Exactly.
That's a good starting point.
Exactly. It may not be tied to a specific need, but you're looking to buy supplies, or you're needing to get new staff or new resources to grow your business. Working capital is just the most flexible. It's just, sort of an open line that you can use and draw down and, put to work as you'd like to.
Sure. Working capital.
Working capital.
So everyone write down working capital.
Yes.
We understand. What's the second one?
The second one I would say is called accounts receivables financing. That's for companies who they have a client that owes them money, and that client has time. It's a 30 days or 45 days, but they have time. So now the borrower or the business owner is saying, I need that money a little bit faster. So accounts receivable financing says, we're going to take that, let's say that client owed $100,000 to the business.
Okay.
They will forward, let's give it maybe $70,000 or $80,000 just based on the promise of that client paying them in the future. So there's a whole, set of parameters around making sure that happens.
Your organization helps at least prepare or bring the bridge together. What's the name of the organization again?
Funded First.
Funded First. Funded First. Okay.
So I'd say accounts receivable financing is probably the second step. That's a lot of people who do sort of retail business, and they need to get that money back faster than the client will actually, their terms are to pay it. So, and then the third, I'd say, is probably equipment financing, and that means, if you are, let's say you are needing equipment in your office, so you're looking at laptops or furniture or things to run the business, but you can even think of it as even more industrial. So if you are a trucking company or you have a bakery, there are specific loans for that type of equipment that you need. So an example was we worked with a trucking company. They needed to buy new vehicles. So we worked at vehicle financing for that, right? And then they also needed a office computer system. So it was about $10,000 of computers, and then we financed the computers from a different area that did the trucking. So equipment financing covers so many different areas. And once people understand how that money frees up cash flow, it's like when we, years ago, and probably still, but Dell Computers would, finance.
Dell Computers.
I know.
That was years ago.
Yeah, they're financing. So I'm buying, a laptop, and so they pay a little bit less if they finance it versus saying they'll spend $1,000 all at once. Same thing happens for the business. You can have better cash flow when you get equipment financing for that specific product and lower your payments and keep your cash in the business.
Well, I can just hang out all day and all night. I can say, first connect with all the folks that need some money.
Right, exactly.
I love that part. As we come down, I know I said this before, but we talked about myths earlier. And I just want folks to write down the top 3 myths. And if you could just take a second, say, here's the myth, Jay, and here's the reason why. I want to make sure we have that recap and they're fully aware of that, because Funded First. I did get that right. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. Funded First.
Oh, she loves it. That smile comes out. Just
Funded First. Yes.
Funded First. So here's the question. Give us the myth, 3 myths, and the reason why it's a myth quickly if you can.
Right. So I'd say the top myth is that they are not able to get money. That they are just.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
That's just the clearest myth.
I agree.
Okay.
Like
the reality is you find the right type of lender that fits your business need, and you properly prepare for that loan, you can get capital. And the second myth is that their personal situation will stop them from being able to do it. So even if the business is doing well, that they either don't have collateral or their personal credit will stop it, that's also a myth. There's other ways to work around where we start to focus on the business and take the eyes off of the personal side. So just assuming that their personal history was an automatic door closer is not necessarily the case. So I would say that's also a large myth. People need to just not worry about that.
Okay.
We help work through that.
I like that.
And the third thing is just that if they've gotten a no before, that that one no is the rest of the story. And that's also a myth. There are yeses and ways for you to get capital. So just because you've had one no doesn't mean that you should stop trying, right?
Just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Exactly. It's funny. I remember saying to someone, it's almost like dating. If you had one bad date, that doesn't mean you don't date for the rest of your life.
All right. Woo, I'm with you.
Right. So if you look at finding a loaning or a lending relationship or capital relationships, okay, it's a relationship. And there are people that are out there who want to be with you as you grow your company. So finding the best relationships don't stop because you got one no. You just have to be able to, get dressed up for your next Friday night date.
You have to kiss some more frogs, try on a few more slippers.
Right.
I get it, but you stay out there.
Right.
Now, folks that are listening right now are like, wow, there's just a lot here. But Funded First, I understand, has a mission, and that is to help business owners have access to capital.
Right.
Talk a little bit, if you can. I know you guys have put together a step-by-step way for folks to do that. Here's what I'd like you to talk about, if you can. Your program is put together. Talk about one or two reasons why you put together the program.
Right.
And for folks that may be interested, over and beyond this conversation, because I can't keep you all night. At some point, Jasmine's going to come jumping up here. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
But in all seriousness, talk about the program, why you put the program together, maybe a couple of reasons why someone is listening right now should maybe take that next step. Ladies and gentlemen, get a paper, get a pen, and we'll tell you how in a minute for those that want to. Tell us about the program, why you created it, and what's the reason why an entrepreneur or business owner would want to at least be in the program.
Right. So we have a platform, fundedfirstsystems.com, that it's immediately ready to go. Everyone can go there right now. And it's a very simple explanation of what they need to do to be able to get funding.
Oh, I heard that. I want to say that one more time. What? Where's my phone? Let me make sure I get my phone. Okay. I'm going to write that one down.
So
it's the mission
Funded First Systems.
Funded First Systems, got that. Funded First, everyone jot this down, please. Fundedfirstsystems.com. But the mission you said was really important, is to help business do what?
To simply get themselves prepared to get matched with the loans that they need.
I like that. So you prepare us to get matched.
Right.
If you need a loan, you need to be matched with a lender. You guys help with that process.
Right.
Okay, tell us a little more about that.
Well, it's actually
please.
more two-stage. They themselves have to make sure that their company is in a presentation mode. They're ready to go, right? And they have to have certain things in place to be able to do that. But this isn't something that, they can go through all of the information and the resources literally within a day. So this is not something that takes weeks. All of the information that they need is readily available to understand the universe that they're about to walk into. But we have step-by-step for what they need to do to get prepared for financing.
So at the end of the day, someone that's interested takes a step over and beyond this conversation. They can go step by step through what they need to do in order to at least be prepared and put themselves in a position.
Exactly.
And okay, I got to ask this question. She said I can ask any question I want. Is this one of those? Is this something that you personally have helped share your influence, your experience with? Okay. So this is not something you just read off some book and you just went and watched a Google video and just came back. This is based on your experience.
Right. I think the problem is that people think that this information is so complicated. And it's really not complicated. So for us to make fast lending decisions, the process is very formulaic. There's scorecards. There's certain metrics that need to be hit. There's certain information that's just standard. So it's a very simple process because we're processing information fast to make approvals. So if I just gave a little bit of an insight to the people who are looking for money, I'm just conveying the same simple ideas. So it's not complicated.
But those simple ideas could save someone 6 months, 8 months.
Oh, definitely.
Someone that possibly, if they didn't get it right early on, 18 months down, they could run out of money. They could be out of business.
Exactly.
And this is really serious because what you're doing is good
it's
work.
not something that takes a long time to get through. It's very quick, little small segments on specific topics that they can just quickly go through in a few minutes. I think most people's attention span as a business owner, you don't even have a lot of time. So people don't have, I say, this is what you need. It's very straightforward, it's very clear, and it's action oriented.
And I got to ask, do we have to come in? I'm interested. I'm going to tell you, I don't know about the folks listening, but I'm interested. Do I have to come in and sit down for 2 or 3 days and hang out? Is there a way that, I'm serious. I have a mobile phone.
Exactly.
and I like to do
No,
things
right.
virtually. Is this something that can be done? I don't want to give away all the secrets, but can it be done virtually?
Everything
Or
is.
do I have to carry some binder? I mean,
No.
I've got to ask. I mean, I'm
Everything
curious,
is digital.
really, seriously.
Everything is digital, totally
Okay.
accessible on the phone. They can keep listening to everything on their website, on their internet connection at home.
So
Whether
if they
they're
have
in
a
the
mobile
office,
device,
yes.
they have a computer, which hopefully they have one. Even if they have a laptop, as
Well,
long
we
as
can
they have the
finance
internet.
some computers if they don't.
Oh! I've lost control. I've just totally lost control. You
Right.
want to finance computers, whatever they need, you can do that. But in all seriousness,
But it's accessible.
It's accessible.
It's immediately available. They can listen to and watch all of the information. There's resources for them to move forward. But you ask the question, it's, do they have to? The challenge is
Yeah, I'm
a lot
curious.
of people are saying, okay, even if I had that information, how can I get to sit down and knock this out? How can I get
the key.
it done?
That's the key. That's the key. I agree
Right.
with you.
So, there are other opportunities to be able to help with implementation, but the main thing is everything that you need to know of what you need to do is already available.
So they can go over to Funded.
Funded First
Now,
Systems.
first, is that FIRST?
Yes, written out.
I'll be clear. I mean, because it could
Absolutely.
be. Okay, so Funded First Systems. Is that an S?
S.
Okay. I mean, I went to public school, so I got to make sure I get this. I'm very proud of that. So Funded First Systems. Oh, gee whiz, they put up one for us. We have to thank the team back there.
This is great.
I'm
This
so
is
glad
great.
they put their Funded First Systems is already up. Ladies and gentlemen, just look below. Now, when they go to that website or web page, I'm assuming it's a URL there, is all the information there that they can read and learn a little more about the different programs and modules and what you're teaching?
Oh, sure, right.
So it's all there.
It's all
it
there.
It does work. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to suggest, I'm not going to get my cell phone out right now. Go there right now. See if it works. Check it out. Make sure it's a good fit for them, obviously. If they have any questions, there's a way they can contact you. What you're doing is so important. Funded First Systems.com is the reason I think it's important, not because the entrepreneur gets to get some dollars, although that's important. Not because if they do get the capital, which you can help them do, you can save them so much time.
Right.
But that's not why they should do it.
Right.
I would hit over to Funded First Systems. Not so much because the money can help them employ folks in the community or employ folks all across this country so they can build their own communities, provide for their families. It just does so much. So if nothing else, they should share it with someone.
If nothing else, I've touched over $2 billion worth of funding. So I think I can shed a little bit of light that people, that might be useful.
Okay.
And just knowing that this is a team of people who add their input.
So it's not you're not by yourself. You got a team of folks. You have other experts that are lending their expertise.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just like a business owner takes a team oftentimes to run their company, they don't do every part. To be able to have a funding strategy, and that's what we help with. We help companies get a funding strategy because the intention is, it's great if someone wants to be, a hobby lifestyle business, but we've dealt with multi-million-dollar companies. So if you want to have the insight of $2 billion that, have already gone out the door and be able to say, all right, I want to see my company be a multi-million-dollar business, you need to have a funding strategy. And it's something that takes a team of people and professionals to help execute.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dana Peck, and welcome to Womanpreneur 15. Let me take a moment to share a little bit about myself, and guess what? I'm going to try to do it in one sentence. Okay, you ready? I was born in Buffalo, went to Catholic school, went to Baltimore for college, met my husband, returned home to work, went to grad school, moved to Atlanta, and got a dream job with President Jimmy Carter. Went to Liberia, got married, started another graduate program, had a son, still in grad school, lost my mom to cancer, had a daughter, became an entrepreneur, moved to another house, moved in my 80-year-old father, had another son, started a business, got divorced. Wrote a book, gained a trade, found out my brother has to have a liver transplant, moved to a new house, remarried, and gained another son and 2 daughters. And today, I'm working on my first live workshop on mobile technology. Yay! So I'm confident we have something in common. We are some hustling wives, mom, caregiving entrepreneurs who find it necessary to constantly improve ourselves. So congratulations. And we're in this together. When Shay and Trevor mentioned that I could do this, I was a little hesitant because I'd never done this before. But I figured it's similar to technology. People are either going to embrace it or they might shy away from it. So hopefully by the end of this session today, you will gain a greater appreciation for mobile technology and just embrace it to propel your business forward. So let's get started. We're in this together. And I mentioned my name is Dana Peck with Global App Suite. So please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And if you have any comments or questions, I would love to hear from you. Just use the hashtag Global App Suite. Great. We're going to be going back and forth between a Prezi presentation and my face. So we're going to go over to the presentation now. 1 second. We're going to get on there. There we are. Okay, so we're going to be talking about ultimately the top 5 apps every businesswoman needs to be successful. And we're going to just start with a background of the importance of the topic. We're going to look at how this relates to the overall conference over the 2 days. And of course, how it relates to my business, Global App Suite. And Global App Suite was built with you in mind, small business owners. And our goal is to make mobile apps more affordable for you. We want you to be in the industry just like the big boys. And I was motivated to do this presentation because of the pillars of success that are on the Womanpreneur website. And the first one was fine-tune your niche. And that's important because we need to stand out in our industry. So I'm hopeful that gleaning a greater insight on this mobile technology will help you do that. And because you know what? Your competitors already are. So we need to get in this space. And then the next one is the work-life integration. How are we going to integrate your work and your life? And there are apps that can do others. And we're going to eliminate those activities and processes that waste time and money. And we're going to build that dream team of yours. And your dream team can be these tools, these mobile apps. You can use these tools to not only build your business, but build your brand. And so we'll look into that. And then we're going to look at this technology with respect to social media. Because seriously, how are you going to develop this effective sales marketing plan, which is the last pillar, without integrating social media? That is key. And now we're going to take a social media moment. And what is that? That just means that you go to your favorite social media platform, it may be one or more, and find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and please like us, comment, add a friend, add us as a friend, send us a picture, follow us, share some tips. I want to hear about what your favorite apps are, and you'll hear about mine. But I'd love to hear from you throughout this presentation, so thank you so much. We're going to be looking at the top apps that every businesswoman needs to be successful. But first, let's talk about the mobile industry in general. So what is an app? In the simplest terms, an app is a self-contained program or software that is designed to fulfill a particular purpose, meaning it is downloaded to a device to perform some activity. Do you know there's almost 500,000 apps just in the iPhone store to choose from? And apps really became popular in 2008 with the introduction of the iPhone. And apps, the mobile app industry is one of the fastest industries in technology, because around that time, it went from basically 0 to almost 1 million, right? So now, also mobile devices, I just heard about this, listen to this. Mobile devices have now surpassed the total number of the global population. That means there are more mobile devices than there are people in this world. So this is huge. And mobile apps give you the opportunity to extend far beyond your capabilities as a small business owner. It's just amazing. So again, take time out through your social media platform and tell me what your favorite app is, what you can't live without, and make sure you put hashtag Global App Suite. You know, there is an app for anything. There are apps how to put on makeup, how to get a date, where to get the cheapest gas. There's even a power nap app. I saw that. There's an app for almost anything in their life. The apps that Global App Suite focus on are more promotional apps. So let's say, are there any authors out there? Of course. Maybe you'd like to promote your books, or maybe you would like to be able to communicate with your target market by sending push notifications. And push notifications are those notes that come up there's a notification on your mobile device. It might come up as a box, or it might come up as a header on your cell phone. And you might want, like I said, a piece of advice. You might want to remind them about an upcoming event. Maybe you have a workshop coming up or a special. Are there any people who own a beauty salon? Okay, well, you can use an app to schedule appointments. That means that the app will remind your client about the upcoming appointment, and they can also put a deposit down when they can schedule an appointment, put a deposit down, and they can also pay for the services on there. Just a variety of ways that you can use a mobile app. So yes, there's an app for anything. And the mobile industry has transformed many additional industries. Two that I'm going to talk about today are Uber and Netflix. Now, I'm sure you have, how many people have the Uber and Netflix app on their phone? Me. Uber's transformed the transportation industry. Do you remember? I don't know how many people are older than me or my age, but do you remember getting the phone book out and looking up a taxi cab company, calling the cab, talking to a dispatcher, trying to explain to them where you live, where you wanted to go, waiting around for the cab, looking out the door, calling the dispatcher back, waiting for the cab, getting into the cab, explaining to the cab driver where you wanted to go. Perhaps you're not familiar with the area you're going, so you may be driving around. Then about to pay for the app. I'm just app crazy, I'm happy. You want to pay for your ride, you get your destination, and you're like, you take credit cards, right? And they say, no, we prefer cash. Uber has transformed this industry, and they didn't create a new service. They created something very simple called convenience. You can see where your Uber driver is. You can tell them in advance where you're going. And there's no funny business about driving around trying to hike up the price. And there's no cash involved. You don't have to worry about a tip, and you're gone. Everybody knows where you are. It's safe and secure. So let's say you are not in the app industry, then you would be out there on the corner striking. So You don't want to be that business. A couple years down the line, striking while your competition is gaining all of your clients. You feel me? Okay, let's try another example. Netflix. Remember Netflix? Do you know what it replaced? Remember Blockbuster? Do you remember rushing over to Blockbuster after work and looking for that new release movie? And then you'd see like the picture of the movie in the box, and you look behind there, and inside that plastic case was the movie, and you're so excited, you take it home to watch it. Now this is before DVDs. And then you put it in your VCR, and they didn't rewind it, so you had to wait for it to rewind. And then you watch it, and you forget it in your VCR and go to work, and then you have to pay that late fine. And you go back, and you return it, and you forgot to rewind it. Did you get that additional fee? I mean, I can go on and on about movies on Blockbuster. Netflix comes around. You know, Blockbuster had the opportunity to do what Netflix did, or they had to buy it. Regardless, they were pushed out of the market, and we don't want to get pushed out of the market. We want to embrace this mobile technology and see how it's going to take you to the next level. So let's see. Let's go on to the next. We're going back to the presentation. Okay, there you go. Yeah, the mobile industry. If you're not in it, you're out of it. Okay. Now, I'm getting to my first mobile app I cannot live without, and that is Expensify. It's just basically, it's an app to help you keep track of your business expenses. And I'll tell you something. I was at a conference with a colleague, and she's a tax professional, and we bought a meal together. And I used this app. I don't think she was paying attention to see what I was doing. I used the app, and then I gave her the receipt. And she took a picture of the receipt, and then she gave me the receipt back. I said, "Oh, I don't need it." She was like, "Oh, don't you want to keep it for your taxes?" I said, "Oh, I've already filed it away." And she was like, "How did you do that?" "Well, I use an app called Expensify. I use a smart scan. It reads the receipt, puts in the vendor name, the date, and the amount, and then I just categorize it. So I categorize it as a conference, as training, and I just kept it moving and gave her the receipt. You know, I told you, she was a tax professional, never heard of this app, and now she's using it. It's so simple. At the end of the year or the end of the time period that you want to file your taxes, you just print out or view the report by the different categories you already established. So this app is awesome. So then we're going to go on to the next one. Any.do. This app will help you with your daily goals and tasks. And I think the best part of this app is I set it for the morning to do this, but you can set it for any time you want. So in the morning, it'll say, hey, you want to review what your goals and tasks are for today, or do you want to set them for today? And that is so helpful. I like to get my day started. I was always like a list writer. I want to write down a list and I want to cross it off. Now I can do it on the app because you can cross off the tasks as they're listed, and I can set these tasks assigned to a certain deadline. So I am in love with this app. So again, this is called Any.do. And then the third app is Dropbox. Oh my goodness, Dropbox. You know, this was Dropbox. I was trying to choose between Dropbox and Google Drive, and I really love them both. But I like Dropbox for the reason that, similar to Google Drive, you can access your files from anywhere, and those files are across your different devices, so your smartphone, your desktop, and your laptop. What differentiates this from Google Drive is that Dropbox does not take up all that extra space like Google Drive does on your laptop. So I just like this a little bit more, even though I use both. But you really everyone needs an external source to house your files because, our business is important. And you need to be able to access your files. Someone might need your logo or your bio, or they might need a contract. You want to be able to give your clients and your colleagues access to these documents when you're on the move, and it really saves a lot of time. You don't want to have to wait, like I have to wait till I get back in my office so I can fax you a contract. No, you can share it right from your Dropbox. And one suggestion I would make, you really should organize the folders that are consistent, like with your filing system, paper, and electronic on your desktop, so it'll be so much easier to find materials. And then another thing that's great about Dropbox, you can set up an automatic upload of your pictures on your camera, so then you can free up your space on your phone. But I don't know about you, but I am always running out of space on my phone. And when I want to take a picture, I may be out of storage. But now that I have set up this automatic upload, I don't have to keep all those pictures on my phone. So Dropbox, that's an essential. Number 4, this is an app I just recently started using. So I'm really, really interested in it. It's basically a contact management app, but it's based all on relationships. Any of you said, business, it's all about relationships. Well, this solves the problem for you. You put someone's name in your phone, you can't, when did I meet them? How did I know them? So watch this short movie and it'll explain, the short video, how this app works. It's awesome. Wasn't that cool? I hope you enjoyed that video. We just have one more, the last app, the 5th app that I'm suggesting that every successful businesswoman needs. Now, if one of these apps really resonates with you and you've used it and you have an interesting tip, please share it on our social media platform, #GlobalAppSuite. And include #Womanpreneur15 and let us know about it. If there's something I forgot, because I'm sure, I use a lot of apps. And I think I have over 100 on my phone, and you probably do too. We don't realize that the apps that we're using, that what we're using every day is really an app. Like, okay, your banking app, who has to go and make a deposit anymore? I get a check, I take a picture, and it sends there. Another app, DocuSign, I don't fax, I don't print out any contracts anymore. I sign it within the app called DocuSign and I send it right back. So think about what apps that you use that are really make your business more efficient and effective, and please share with us on our social media platform. Now I have one more I want to share with you. And that's it. I've always wondered, like, what is this really called? Or is it IFTTT? But regardless, however you pronounce it, it stands for if this, then that. It's an app that has logic built in to automate your social activity, but even go beyond just social media activity. But it really streamlines things. Some recipes are, for example, if you post a profile picture change on Facebook, then your Twitter, you can set it so your Twitter profile will automatically change. Say someone posts and tags you in Instagram, then it could save that picture on Dropbox. So many different ways you can integrate your email system. Some people even use these recipes, which they're called recipes when you do these logic experiences, to turn the thermostat on or off, turn it up or down. It's great. One really great thing that you can do with this also is, I'm a new iPhone user, and I've been trying to understand Siri. And I think I told you also that I take care of my father. He's now 88, and he's always talking to Siri, but he was like, well, can't Siri do this or that? And so what I found out is, you know, Siri was only designed to operate those original like iOS apps that come on the phone. But now with IFTTT, IFTTT, again, however you say it, you can have Siri manipulate these apps that you've downloaded. So it's really amazing. And then, so you could say something like, when I get to this address, or when I get to my office, mute my ringer. It's just amazing. It's endless. And you get, when you sign up with this app, you can sign up for like the latest or most interesting recipes, again, the logic statements. And you just get to learn about new ways that you can manipulate your social media and your phone and integrating before. And then again, making your life a whole lot easier, because, you know, really, that's what it's all about. So you can make more money. And, you know, we're bringing it home. We're almost coming to the close. And I want you to do me a favor. I want you to close your eyes. Let's take a deep breath. Let's do it. I'm going to do it together with you. Let's see. Let's close our eyes, take a deep breath, and think for a moment how it would feel if you had your company's mobile app on the cell phones of hundreds of thousands of people across the world. That is possible. Now it's possible. Global App Suite joined with a group of awesome developers to provide you an affordable mobile app presence. You can now play in the field with the big guys and gals. And we are creating life-changing mobile apps that are growing congregations and small businesses all over the country. And I'll show you, these are just a couple of the apps that we've done so far, but I encourage you to look at our work in the App Store and in Google Play. And for those of you that participated today, we have a free gift. And the free gift is you can have free mobile app evaluation valued at $150. And that just means that we will, or someone from my team, will speak with you about your business and how you'd like to get mobile. And like I said, we could just talk about different ways we can integrate your social media. If you have products you'd like to sell, how to integrate your shopping cart, how to market the app, how to leverage the technology of push notifications. And again, push notifications are those little boxes that pop up onto your phone and say, hey, I know you are in the area and I'm about to do a special, or we have a special at my restaurant, or I want you to book a hair appointment. You know, the opportunities are endless, but we'd love to sit down and speak with us. Again, connect with us on our social media platform using hashtag Global App Suite. And I am looking forward to participating and learning some more over these next 2 days at Womenpreneur 15. I hope that you enjoyed the time that we spent together. And I'd like to close this out by saying thank you for taking the time and being patient with me during my first live workshop. And I just want to close with this, is that defining your role in mobile technology can be, I would say no, is one of the most important decisions you can make about your business. So take a moment, take some time to seriously consider how you will and how your business will interact with mobile technology. My name is Dana Peck with Global App Suite, and we are providing affordable mobile solutions for you and other small business owners. Thank you again, and we'll see you soon. Connect with me, social media, hashtag Global App Suite. Thank you.
Hello ladies, this is Nikita Pope at Branding Chicks, and I'm so excited to be here for Womenpreneur